The first thing she noticed was the sound. Not the shouting upstairs. Not the pounding of blood in her ears. The breathing. Low. Ragged. Controlled, but only just. It was coming from behind the metal door at the far end of the basement, the one she'd been told never to touch. The one with the rusted padlock and the fresh scrape marks around the handle, like someone had tried, recently, to force it open. Maria froze on the bottom step, one hand still gripping the laundry basket, the other hovering in midair like her body hadn't decided yet whether to run or pray. She counted 3 breaths. Then a fourth. Too steady to be an animal. Too deliberate to be a ghost. "Hello," she said, her voice barely louder than the hum of the old furnace. The breathing stopped. Silence slammed down so hard it felt physical, like pressure against her chest. For one insane second, Maria considered pretending she hadn't heard anything at all. She could turn around, climb the stairs, fold the sheets, finish a shift, and tell herself this was none of her business. She'd done that before. Everyone who worked in houses like this did. But then the lock clicked. Just once. A warning. Her heart tried to climb out of her throat. "You shouldn't be here," a man's voice said from the other side of the door. Calm. Hoarse. Educated. Not pleading. Not threatening. Certain. Maria's knees weakened. She set the basket down slowly, as if sudden movement might provoke whatever was locked behind the door. I'm the maid," she said. "I didn't know anyone was." A dry, humorless exhale came through the crack beneath the door. "That makes 2 of us," the man said. Something in his tone cut through her fear. Not kindness. Not cruelty. Authority. She took a step closer before her brain caught up with her fate. The basement light flickered, casting shadows over the concrete walls. Pipes ran overhead like exposed veins. The air smelled faintly of bleach and iron. "Are you hurt?" she asked. A pause. "Yes." Not dramatic. Not detailed. Just a fact. Maria swallowed. She should leave. She knew that. The owner of the house, Mr. Bellino, had made the rules clear on her first day. Don't ask questions. Don't go where you're not told. Get paid in cash, on time, and forget everything you see. But people didn't usually lock healthy men in basements. She crouched, peering through the narrow slit in the door. At first, she saw nothing but darkness. Then a face emerged into the strip of light. Older than she expected. Late 40s, maybe early 50s. Broad shoulders even slumped against the wall. A strong, square jaw dusted with grey stubble. A nose that had been broken at least once and never properly fixed. Deep-set dark eyes that watched her with unsettling calm. There was blood on his shirt. Not fresh, but not old either. Dried dark against crisp white fabric that had once been expensive. Tattoos crept up his neck, faded ink, religious symbols, Roman numerals. The kind you didn't get on a whim. Maria's breath caught. She'd seen that face before. Not in person. On a television mounted over a bar she cleaned twice a week. On a muted news channel, beneath a headline about indictments and wiretaps and ongoing investigations into organized crime activity in the Northeast. The name slammed into her mind like a siren. Salvatore Moretti. The man they called Quiet Money. The one reporters said never raised his voice. Never carried a gun. Never had to. The man who wasn't supposed to be anywhere near this house. "You recognize me," he said softly. It wasn't a question. Maria stood too fast, her head spinning. This is a mistake," she said. "You shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I need to go." "If you go," Moretti said, "they'll know." Her hand closed around the stair rail. "Who's they asterisk?" A faint smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. Not amusement. Appreciation. Like she'd asked the right question. "The people who locked that door," he said. "And the people who'd rather I didn't leave this basement breathing." A thud echoed overhead. Footsteps. Heavy. Unhurried. Maria's pulse spiked. Someone's upstairs. "Yes," Moretti said. That would be the problem. She backed away from the door, every instinct screaming danger. Her mind raced, escape routes, excuses, prayers she hadn't said since childhood. "What do you want from me?" she whispered. Moretti shifted, wincing as he moved. She noticed then the way he favored his side, the stiffness in his posture, the dark stains spreading beneath his jacket. "I want you to do nothing," he said, which is harder than it sounds. The footsteps paused directly above them. A floorboard creaked. Maria clapped a hand over her mouth, her breathing suddenly too loud in her own ears. Moretti's eyes locked onto hers through the slit in the door, unblinking, commanding. "Listen to me," he murmured. "In about 30 seconds, a man is going to come down those stairs. He's going to ask if you've seen anything unusual." The footsteps started again. Maria shook her head, panic clawing up her spine. "I can't." "You can," he said. "Because if you don't, we both die down here." Her vision tunneled. "What do I say?" she asked. "Tell him the washing machine's leaking," Moretti replied. "Tell him it smells like mold. Tell him anything except the truth." The basement door at the top of the stairs opened. Light spilled down the steps. A silhouette appeared. Maria turned, forcing her face into something resembling normalcy just as a man in a dark jacket descended slowly, his eyes already scanning the room. "Everything all right down here?" he asked. Maria's mouth went dry. She thought of her son waiting at home, doing homework at the kitchen table. She thought of the cash envelope she needed to pay rent. She thought of the man bleeding behind a locked door who should have terrified her more than anyone else in the house. "The washing machine," she said, hating how thin her voice sounded. "It's leaking again." The man frowned. He sniffed the air. His gaze slid past her, toward the far end of the basement. Maria stepped deliberately into his line of sight. "I already cleaned it up," she added quickly. "But it smells bad. Like rust." The man hesitated. Then he nodded once. "I'll tell Mr. Bellino." He turned and climbed back up the stairs. The door closed. Silence returned, thick, suffocating. Maria's legs gave out. She sank onto the bottom step, shaking. Behind the door, Salvatore Moretti exhaled slowly. "You did very well," he said. She laughed, a sharp, hysterical sound. "They're going to kill you," she said. "You know that, right?" His eyes darkened. "They've been trying for 20 years, he replied. "This is just the first time they got me alone." Maria stared at the locked door, at the blood, at the man whose name carried weight in cities she'd never visited. "What happens now?" she asked. Moretti leaned his head back against the concrete wall. "Now," he said, "you decide whether you're a witness or part of the story." And somewhere above them, a phone began to ring. The phone stopped ringing upstairs. Not because someone answered it, but because someone decided not to. Maria felt that decision like a shift in the air, subtle but unmistakable. In houses like this, silence was never accidental. It was chosen, curated, weaponized. She stayed on the step longer than she should have, forcing her breathing to slow, counting heartbeats the way her mother once taught her when panic attacks hit in cramped buses back home. 4 in, 4 out. Don't look at the door. Don't think about blood soaking into concrete. Behind the steel, Salvatore Moretti didn't move. "You can leave now," he said finally. Maria looked up sharply. "You just said." "I said you could," he corrected. "Not that you should." She hated how calm he sounded. Like the worst part was already over. "You don't get to decide that," she snapped, then immediately regretted it. Talking back to men like him never ended well. Everyone knew that. There was a pause. Then, quiet laughter. Soft. Genuine. "That," Moretti said, "is exactly why you're still alive." Her fingers curled into her palms. "You don't know anything about me." "I know enough," he replied. "You didn't run. You didn't scream. And you didn't lie badly." She stood, dusted her jeans with hands that were still trembling. "You told me to lie." "And you did," he said. "But you chose a lie that kept you close." That unsettled her more than the blood. She moved closer to the door again despite herself, keeping a careful distance. "Why are they doing this to you?" The question hung between them. When he answered, his voice had changed, less authority, more edge. "Because I didn't disappear quietly." That's not an answer. It's the only one that matters. Maria folded her arms, suddenly cold. "You're a powerful man. People don't lock men like you in basements unless they think they can get away with it." Moretti shifted again, a sharp breath slipping out before he could stop it. They don't think, he said. They know. Something scraped faintly on the floor behind the door. Chains, maybe. Or cuffs. Maria's stomach twisted. They tortured you. No, he said. They measured me. She didn't understand, but she understood enough. You're not supposed to be here, she said. This house, it's not even in your territory. That's the point. She glanced toward the stairs again. The house had gone unnaturally quiet. No television. No footsteps. No clinking glasses or murmured conversations. The kind of quiet that meant everyone was listening for something else. How long have you been down here? She asked. Another pause. Long enough, Moretti said. Short enough that they still expect me to be useful. Her throat tightened. Useful how? Alive, he said. For now. Maria pressed her back against the wall, feeling suddenly small. Why tell me any of this? Because, he said, you already know too much. Her laugh came out brittle. I know you're locked in a basement. You know who I am, he replied. You know this house isn't what it looks like. And in about an hour, someone will come back downstairs to check the lock. Her pulse spiked. What happens then? They'll decide whether you saw anything, he said, or whether they should make sure you never talk. Fear flared hot and immediate. I didn't agree to this. No one ever does. She rubbed her face with both hands, trying to think past the panic. Why me? She whispered. Behind the door, Moretti went quiet. When he spoke again, his voice was lower. More careful. Because you're invisible, he said. And invisible people make the best witnesses, and the most convenient casualties. Maria's jaw clenched. I have a son. I know. Her head snapped up. How? The backpack with the school patch, he said calmly. The lunch you didn't eat. The way you check your phone every 10 minutes. Her fear shifted, less chaotic now. Sharper. You had me watched. No, Moretti said. If I had, you wouldn't be standing there. She didn't like how that sounded. A faint vibration buzzed in her pocket. Her phone. She froze. The screen lit up with an unknown number. One new message. You still in the basement? Her blood turned to ice. Moretti didn't need to see the screen. He read her expression instantly. They're early, he said. Maria stared at the phone, her mind racing. What do I do? You don't reply, he said. Not yet. Another vibration. Another message. Boss wants to know if everything's clean. Boss. The word landed heavy. Maria's fingers hovered over the screen. If I don't answer. They'll come down, Moretti finished. If you answer wrong, they'll come down faster. Her breathing grew shallow. There's no right answer. There is, he said. But it costs you. She swallowed hard. What kind of cost? Behind the door, Moretti leaned closer to the slit, his eyes locking onto hers. You stop being just a maid, he said quietly, and start being someone they have to account for. Upstairs, a floorboard creaked again. Closer this time. Maria looked at the phone. At the unread messages. At the locked door hiding a man powerful enough to ruin her life, and dangerous enough to get her killed. Her thumb hovered. Then she typed. Almost done. Heading up now. She hit send. The 3 dots appeared instantly. Moretti smiled. Slow, deliberate. Welcome to it, he said. Above them, footsteps turned toward the stairs. The footsteps didn't rush the stairs. They never did. Whoever was coming down took their time, each step deliberate, like they already knew what they were going to find. Maria felt it in her chest before she heard it clearly. The faint scrape of a shoe against wood, the soft exhale of someone chewing gum, unafraid. She slipped the phone into her pocket and forced herself to move. Standing frozen would look suspicious. Running would look worse. Bucket, Moretti murmured from behind the door. And don't look back. Her body reacted before her thoughts caught up. She grabbed the mop bucket, tilted it slightly so the dirty water sloshed loud enough to sell the story, and started toward the stairs. Every step felt like she was walking away from a cliff edge, not knowing if the ground behind her would collapse. Halfway up, a voice drifted down. You still here? Male. Young. Casual. Too relaxed. Yeah, Maria answered, pitching her voice low, tired. Almost done. A shadow appeared at the top of the stairs. Then the man himself leaned over the railing. Late 20s, maybe early 30s. Trim beard. Windbreaker zipped halfway up. The kind of guy who could blend into any crowd and disappear just as easily. He looked past her, down into the basement. Maria kept her eyes on the floor. Basement's taking longer than usual, he said. Owner asked for deep clean, she replied. Spilled paint or something. He nodded slowly, chewing. Watching. You alone down there? The question was light. The implication wasn't. Maria lifted the bucket slightly. Unless the rats learned to mop. A smile flickered across his face, thin, humorless. Boss doesn't like surprises, he said. Neither do I, she answered before she could stop herself. For half a second, the air tightened. Then the man laughed. Fair. He stepped aside, giving her room to pass. As she climbed the last step, she felt his gaze on her back, on the slight shake in her shoulders, on the way her grip tightened on the handle. You can head out, he said. We'll finish up here. Maria nodded, keeping her head down. You want the cash? Already handled. Of course it was. She walked toward the front door, every instinct screaming not to run. The house felt different now, smaller, like the walls were leaning in. She could sense movement behind her without hearing it, the subtle repositioning of men who knew exactly where everyone else was. At the door, she hesitated. If she left now, she might never see Moretti again. If she stayed, she might never see her son. Her hand closed around the knob. Behind her, the man spoke again. Oh, and Maria. Her spine went rigid. She turned slowly. Yes. He smiled, polite as a bank teller. You did good today. The words landed wrong. She nodded once and stepped outside. The cold air hit her like a slap. She didn't stop walking until she reached the end of the block. Only then did she allow herself to breathe, sharp, ragged gulps that burned her lungs. Her phone vibrated. One new message. Asterisk, did they see you leave? Asterisk. She didn't reply. Another message followed almost immediately. Asterisk, answer me. Asterisk. She ducked into a narrow alley between a laundromat and a closed deli, fingers numb as she typed. Asterisk, yes. Asterisk. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then. Asterisk, good. Don't go home. Asterisk. Her heart slammed. Asterisk, why? Asterisk. This time, the reply took longer. Asterisk, because the man on the stairs isn't here to guard me. Asterisk. Maria leaned back against the brick wall, the city noise suddenly too loud, too sharp. Asterisk, then why is he here? Asterisk, she typed. The response came in 2 parts. Asterisk, to see who comes down. Asterisk. A pause. Asterisk, and who walks away. Asterisk. She slid down the wall until she was crouched, arms wrapped around herself. Across the street, a black sedan idled at the curb, engine humming softly. No one inside that she could see. Her phone buzzed again. Asterisk, you lied well. Asterisk, Moretti wrote. Asterisk, that bought us time. Asterisk. Asterisk us. Asterisk, she typed back before she could reconsider. Several seconds passed. Then. Asterisk, whether you like it or not. Asterisk. A car door opened somewhere nearby. Maria looked up. The sedan's headlights flicked on. The sedan didn't pull away. It just sat there, engine idling, headlights washing the street in a pale, indifferent glow. Maria stayed crouched in the alley, forcing her breathing to slow, counting each inhale like she used to when panic attacks hit at the factory. 1, 2, 3. The car door hadn't opened again. No footsteps followed. Her phone vibrated once more. Asterisk, walk. Don't look at it. If they move, you'll feel it. Asterisk. She swallowed hard, slipped the phone into her jacket, and stood. Her legs felt weak, but they carried her out of the alley and onto the sidewalk. She walked past the sedan without turning her head, eyes fixed on a graffiti-tagged mailbox across the street. Nothing happened. Not until she reached the corner. That was when the engine revved. Not aggressively. Not chasing. Just enough to remind her it was there. Maria turned the corner and kept walking, heart pounding so loud she was sure someone could hear it. She took 2 more blocks before ducking into a crowded bodega, the bell above the door chiming too brightly for the fear clinging to her skin. She lingered by the fridge, pretending to study bottled water, watching the reflection in the glass. The sedan rolled past slowly, then disappeared down the street. Only then did her knees threaten to give out. Her phone buzzed. Asterisk good instincts, asterisk Moretti wrote. Asterisk they were testing you. Asterisk. She stared at the screen. Asterisk testing me for what? Asterisk. The reply came quickly. Asterisk to see if fear makes you sloppy. Asterisk. She paid for the water with shaking hands and stepped back outside. The city felt different now, not hostile, but alert. Like it had been watching her long before today. Asterisk why are you still texting me? Asterisk she typed as she walked. Asterisk you said I should forget you. Asterisk. Another pause. Longer this time. Asterisk I say a lot of things. Asterisk he replied. Asterisk doesn't mean I believe them. Asterisk. She stopped under a streetlight, its buzz filling the silence. Asterisk they think you betrayed them. Asterisk she wrote. Asterisk they're saying it on the news. Asterisk. Asterisk they're saying what they need people to believe. Asterisk he answered. Asterisk truth is heavier. Takes longer to move. Asterisk. A bus roared past, wind tugging at her coat. Maria looked at her reflection in a dark storefront window. She barely recognized the woman staring back, eyes wide, jaw tight, shoulders pulled up like she was bracing for impact. Asterisk you're bleeding into my life. Asterisk she typed. Asterisk my son. My job. Everything. Asterisk. This time, the response didn't come right away. When it did, it was shorter. Asterisk that's why they won't suspect you. Asterisk. Her stomach dropped. Asterisk I didn't agree to this. Asterisk she wrote. Asterisk neither did I. Asterisk he replied. Asterisk that's how it always starts. Asterisk. She resumed walking, heading nowhere and everywhere at once. The city blocks blurred together. Restaurants, laundromats, stoops with men who watched too closely. Every face felt like a question. Her phone vibrated again. Asterisk I need you to do something. Asterisk Moretti wrote. She stopped. Asterisk no. Asterisk she typed immediately. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then. Asterisk I'm not asking for loyalty. Asterisk. She waited. Asterisk I'm asking for leverage. Asterisk. Her fingers hovered over the screen. Asterisk what kind? Asterisk. Several seconds passed. Long enough for a siren to wail somewhere distant. Long enough for her to consider turning the phone off, throwing it into a storm drain, pretending none of this had happened. Then the message arrived. Asterisk the house you cleaned today wasn't just mine. Asterisk he wrote. Asterisk it was where they kept records. Cash movements. Names. Asterisk. Her pulse spiked. Asterisk they think it's gone. Asterisk he continued. Asterisk they think I took it. Asterisk. Asterisk did you? Asterisk she asked. Asterisk no. Asterisk he replied. Asterisk you did. Asterisk. Maria's breath caught. Asterisk I didn't take anything. Asterisk. Asterisk you moved through every room. Asterisk he wrote. Asterisk you touched what they won't admit exists. And they saw you walk out alive. Asterisk. Her grip tightened around the phone. Asterisk I don't have what you're talking about. Asterisk she typed. Asterisk and even if I did, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Asterisk. The reply came slower, heavier. Asterisk you already proved something today. Asterisk Moretti wrote. Asterisk you didn't run when you should have. Asterisk. A chill crawled up her spine. Asterisk that makes you dangerous in ways you don't understand yet. Asterisk. She leaned against a brick wall, the weight of his words pressing down on her chest. Asterisk I'm not like you. Asterisk she typed. Asterisk no. Asterisk he answered. Asterisk you're worse for them. Asterisk. A car horn blared nearby, snapping her back. She looked around, suddenly aware of how exposed she was standing still. Asterisk go to a place with cameras. Asterisk Moretti sent. Asterisk bright lights. People. I'll contact you again. Asterisk. Asterisk when? Asterisk she asked. Another pause. Asterisk when they make their next mistake. Asterisk. She slid the phone into her pocket and started walking again, toward the glow of a late-night diner at the end of the block. The windows were fogged, silhouettes moving inside, ordinary lives unfolding over coffee and plates of food. For the first time since the basement, Maria felt something other than fear. She felt watched, but not hunted. Not yet. Behind her, somewhere out in the city, men were arguing quietly over missing records that no one could admit existed. and none of them were looking at the woman walking into the light. The diner smelled like grease and burnt coffee, a familiar comfort that didn't quite reach Maria's nerves. She slid into a booth near the window, back against the wall, just like her father had taught her years ago. Always see who's coming star. The waitress poured coffee without asking. Maria wrapped both hands around the mug even though it was too hot, letting the heat steady her. Her phone stayed dark. Minutes passed. Then 10 more. Outside, the street breathed, cars idling, people drifting past, a couple arguing softly near the corner. Nothing dramatic. That somehow made it worse. She took a sip of coffee and winced. Normal, she told herself. This is what normal looks like. Her phone buzzed under the table. You're safe there. For now. She didn't reply immediately. She watched the reflection in the window instead. A man in a hoodie walked past. A delivery truck double-parked. No one looked twice at the diner. Why a diner? She finally typed. Because everyone thinks they see everything in places like that, Moretti replied. Which means they stop actually looking. She exhaled slowly. You said I took something. I didn't. Not knowingly, he answered. That's the point. Her stomach tightened. Explain. Several dots appeared. Vanished. Appeared again. They stored pieces separately, he wrote. Not files. Not folders. Physical fragments. Notes. Numbers. Things that look like trash if you don't know what you're seeing. Maria's mind jumped to the cleaning supplies. The trash bags. The cardboard box in the basement corner she'd almost thrown out. Her pulse quickened. You told me to wipe down shelves, she typed. Not go through boxes. And you didn't, he replied. You moved them. Her grip on the phone tightened. They photograph everything, he continued. Before and after. It's how they know something changed, even if they don't know what. Maria felt cold despite the hot coffee. So now what? She asked. Across the diner, a man laughed too loudly. Silverware clinked. Life went on. Now they're arguing, Moretti wrote. Because blaming me is easy. But it doesn't explain you. Her throat went dry. I don't want to be an explanation. I know, he replied. That's why this works. She stared at the screen. You're using me. I'm protecting you, he answered. There's a difference. She almost laughed at that. Almost. Protection usually comes with a price, she typed. This time, the pause was longer. Long enough for the waitress to come back and refill her mug. Long enough for Maria to consider getting up and leaving anyway. It does, Moretti finally wrote. Just not yet. Her jaw tightened. I have a child. Another pause. He didn't answer right away. When the message came, it was different. Fewer words.
No police.
I know. Her breath caught. How? Because they already looked, he replied. And because I told them not to touch him. The world narrowed to the glow of a phone. You don't get to say his name and call that protection, she typed, finger shaking. Then listen to me, he answered. If they thought you mattered, you wouldn't be sitting in a diner right now. Maria pushed the coffee away. Her appetite was gone. You said they're making mistakes, she wrote. What mistake? Outside, the delivery truck pulled away. The street felt suddenly emptier. They left the house too clean, Moretti replied. Which means someone panicked. She frowned. Men like them don't panic over nothing. A new message followed almost immediately. They panic when power slips, he wrote. And when someone they underestimated doesn't disappear. Maria's phone buzzed again before she could respond. They're going to watch you go home tonight, Moretti added. Not to hurt you. To learn. Her heart thudded hard. What do I do? Asterisk. Across the diner, the TV changed channels. A news anchor's face filled the screen. The sound was low, but Maria caught her own city's name. Asterisk go home, asterisk Moretti replied. Asterisk be tired. Be boring. Be exactly who you were yesterday. Asterisk. Asterisk and tomorrow? Asterisk she asked. Another pause. Asterisk tomorrow, asterisk he wrote. Asterisk you decide whether this ends with you running, or them guessing wrong. Asterisk. Maria looked down at her reflection in the dark coffee. The woman staring back wasn't fearless. She wasn't powerful. But she was still standing. She paid the bill, slipped on her coat, and stepped back out into the night, aware now that the most dangerous thing she carried wasn't a secret or a document. It was the fact that someone out there had decided she mattered. And that someone else was about to realize it too. Maria didn't take the bus home. She walked instead, cutting through side streets, doubling back once, then again, letting the city's rhythm swallow her. She kept her pace ordinary, neither rushed nor lazy, because panic drew attention, and confidence invited questions. The air smelled like rain and hot asphalt. Somewhere nearby, a siren wailed and then faded. She felt watched anyway. Not the obvious kind. No footsteps behind her. No black SUVs creeping along the curb. It was subtler than that. The sense of being asterisk accounted for asterisk, like a number on a ledger someone checked at the end of the day. When she reached her building, the hallway light flickered like it always did. The door to her apartment was locked.
No scratches.
No forced entry. That unsettled her more than if there had been. Inside, everything was exactly where she'd left it. Too exactly. Maria stood still, listening. The hum of the refrigerator. A neighbor's television bleeding through the wall. She crossed to the kitchen, opened the cabinet under the sink, and stared at the cleaning supplies. Bleach. Rags. Gloves. The cardboard box wasn't there. Her chest tightened. She hadn't imagined it. The box had been real, water-stained, half-collapsed, tucked behind old paint cans. She remembered thinking it didn't belong in a place that otherwise felt curated, intentional. She remembered sliding it aside without opening it because it wasn't part of the job. Now it was gone. Her phone vibrated. Asterisk they were here, asterisk she typed. Asterisk I know, asterisk Moretti replied almost instantly. That scared her more than the missing box. Asterisk how long ago? Asterisk she asked. Asterisk after you left the diner. Before you got home. Asterisk. Maria's skin prickled. Asterisk so they wanted me to notice. Asterisk. Asterisk no, asterisk he wrote. Asterisk they wanted you to doubt yourself. Asterisk. She sank into a chair, pressing her fingertips against her temples. Asterisk what was in the box? Asterisk she asked. This time, the pause stretched. Asterisk proof, asterisk Moretti finally replied. Asterisk and leverage. But not against who you think. Asterisk. She swallowed. Asterisk against you. Asterisk. Against everyone. Asterisk he answered. Maria closed her eyes. Somewhere deep inside, anger sparked, quiet, controlled, unfamiliar. Asterisk you said you didn't need saving. Asterisk she typed. Asterisk but you didn't say you weren't setting traps. Asterisk. Asterisk I didn't know you'd be the one to trigger it. Asterisk he replied. Asterisk that part was luck. Asterisk. Asterisk or manipulation. Asterisk. A beat. Asterisk both things can be true. Asterisk. She laughed softly, bitterly. Asterisk they're going to come back. Asterisk she said. Asterisk for me. Asterisk. Asterisk eventually. Asterisk Moretti replied. Asterisk but not yet. Right now, they're deciding whether you're a problem or bait. Asterisk. Maria stood and walked to the window. Down on the street, a man leaned against a lamppost, scrolling on his phone. He looked ordinary. Forgettable. Asterisk is he one of yours? Asterisk she asked.
Asterisco no, Moretti replied.
Asterisk which is why you shouldn't look at him again. Asterisk. She stepped back. Asterisk what do you want from me? Asterisk she asked. The answer came slower this time, heavier. Asterisk I want you to stay visible. Asterisk he wrote. Asterisk go to work. Talk to neighbors. Be seen. Asterisk. Her jaw tightened. Asterisk so I'm bait. Asterisk. Asterisk so you're a mirror. Asterisk he answered. Asterisk they won't move until they're sure what they're looking at. Asterisk. Maria felt the weight of it settle in her chest, the truth beneath all of it. She wasn't collateral damage anymore. She was part of the board. Asterisk, and when they decide. Asterisk, she asked. Outside, the man at the lamppost looked up, met her window for half a second, then went back to his phone. Asterisk, then, asterisk, Moretti replied. Asterisk, someone makes the wrong move. Asterisk. Maria locked the window, drew the curtains, and leaned her back against the wall. Her heart was steady now. Not calm, focused. Whatever she'd stepped into had already erased her old life. Running wouldn't undo that. She checked the locks one more time, then turned off the lights. In the dark, her phone buzzed again. Asterisk, one more thing, asterisk, Moretti wrote. Asterisk, if anyone asks you about the basement. Asterisk. She waited. Asterisk, tell them you never went down there. Asterisk. Maria stared at the screen, understanding too late what that meant. Because somewhere, someone was already asking. The first knock came just after noon. Not loud. Not threatening. 3 polite taps, evenly spaced, like someone who expected the door to open. Maria froze in the middle of folding laundry. The apartment felt suddenly smaller, every sound amplified. The rustle of fabric, her own breathing, the distant elevator chime down the hall. She hadn't told anyone she'd taken the day off. She moved to the door without looking through the peephole. That was a mistake people made in movies. Real life punished hesitation differently. She rested her palm flat against the wood, feeling the vibration as the second knock came. Building management, a man's voice called. Calm. Professional. We are checking water lines. Maria didn't answer. There was a pause. Then a softer addition, almost conversational. It won't take long. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Asterisk, do not open it. Asterisk, Moretti texted. Asterisk, if it's who I think it is, they already know you're inside. Asterisk. Maria backed away from the door, heart hammering but her movements controlled. She stepped into the bedroom, lifted the mattress, and slid out the envelope Moretti had told her to keep close but never open unless she had no choice. It felt heavier than paper should. The knock came again, firmer now. Miss Alvarez, the voice said, still polite. We just need a minute of your time. They knew her name. Maria typed with shaking fingers. Asterisk, they're here. Asterisk. Asterisk, I know. Asterisk, Moretti replied. Asterisk, listen carefully. Whatever they say, they're not here to hurt you. Not yet. Asterisk. Asterisk, that's not comforting. Asterisk. Asterisk, it's useful. Asterisk. The doorknob turned slightly. Tested. Locked. Maria, the man said, dropping the pretense of authority. You're not in trouble. But someone you met recently is. Her stomach dropped. We just want to clear up a misunderstanding, he continued. You can help yourself by helping us. Silence stretched between them, thick and deliberate. Maria pictured the basement door. The blood. The calm in Moretti's eyes when he realized she hadn't run. She pressed her back to the wall and spoke, keeping her voice steady. You have the wrong apartment. A smile crept into the man's voice. No, we don't. Her phone buzzed again. Asterisk, this is where you decide who you are. Asterisk, Moretti wrote. Asterisk, answer, and they write your story. Stay quiet, and they have to guess. Asterisk. The doorknob rattled once more, then stopped. Another pause. Longer this time. Finally, footsteps retreated. The elevator chimed again. Doors closed. Silence returned, but it felt temporary, like the pause between waves. Maria slid down to the floor, breath shaking despite her efforts. She stared at the envelope in her hand. Asterisk, they're not police. Asterisk, she typed.
Asterisco no, Moretti replied.
Asterisk, they're what happens when loyalty expires. Asterisk. Her eyes burned. Asterisk, you said staying visible would protect me. Asterisk. Asterisk, it still will. Asterisk, he answered. Asterisk, but visibility doesn't mean accessibility. Asterisk. Maria closed her eyes. Asterisk, what's in the envelope? Asterisk, she asked. A long pause. Asterisk, names. Asterisk, Moretti finally wrote. Asterisk, accounts. Timelines. The kind of truth that makes everyone nervous. Asterisk. Asterisk, including you. Asterisk. Asterisk, especially me. Asterisk. She swallowed hard. Asterisk, so why give it to me? Asterisk. Because they won't suspect you of knowing what it means. Asterisk, he replied. Asterisk, and because if something happens to me, someone has to decide what survives. Asterisk. Maria laughed quietly, the sound thin and sharp. Asterisk, you turned me into insurance. Asterisk. Asterisk no, asterisk Moretti wrote. Asterisk I turned you into a variable dot asterisk. She stood slowly, resolve hardening into something colder. Asterisk they'll come back, asterisk she said. Asterisk yes dot asterisk. Asterisk and when they do. Asterisk. Moretti's reply came immediately. Asterisk this time, you won't be reacting dot asterisk. Maria looked at the door, at the lock, at the life she no longer recognized. Outside, somewhere down the block, a car engine started and then idled, waiting. And for the first time since the basement, Maria understood the real danger. They weren't trying to erase her. They were trying to figure out what she might become. By nightfall, the city felt hostile in small, precise ways. Maria noticed it in reflections, store windows that caught her face a second too long, the dark glass of parked cars that mirrored her movements as she passed. Nothing overt. Nothing she could point to and say asterisk their star. Just pressure. Like the air before a storm. She didn't go home. Instead, she followed the instructions Moretti sent an hour earlier. Short. Clinical. Almost cold. Asterisk bus terminal. Locker row C don't linger dot asterisk. The terminal smelled like old coffee and exhaust. People moved through it with practiced indifference. Travelers, drifters, night shift workers starting lives that ran opposite to the sun. Maria blended in easily. She always had. Locker C17 opened with a stiff metallic groan. Inside was a burner phone and a folded jacket, heavy and unfamiliar. When she slipped it on, she felt the weight immediately. Not just fabric, but intention. Purpose. The burner rang the moment she shut the locker. You're late, a woman's voice said. Smooth. Controlled. Not hostile, but not friendly either. I followed the instructions, Maria replied. Good. Then follow the next one. Walk out. Don't look around. There's a black sedan idling across the street. Maria hesitated. You didn't say anything about a pickup. A pause. Then, lightly amused, if I wanted you taken, you wouldn't be standing. That didn't help. She crossed the street anyway. The back door of the sedan opened before she reached it. Inside, the woman waited. Late 30s, sharp eyes, tailored coat. She looked like someone who never raised her voice because she never had to. My name doesn't matter, the woman said as the car pulled away. What matters is that I'm not on his side. Maria kept her hands visible. You mean Moretti? Yes. A faint smile. He has a talent for surviving. It creates complications. So why talk to me? Because you're new, the woman said. And new pieces change the board. The city slid past outside, lights streaking like unfinished thoughts. You opened a door you weren't meant to, the woman continued. That makes you dangerous. Or useful. Sometimes both. Maria said nothing. The woman stuttered her. Do you know what happens when men like him fall out of favor? They disappear, Maria said. No. They get rewritten. She leaned closer. Villains become informants. Allies become traitors. Truth becomes flexible. Maria's grip tightened on her bag. So what do you want? To know what he gave you. The air shifted. The question landed exactly where it was meant to. Maria met her gaze. If you already know I have something, why not take it? Because I don't know asterisk where asterisk, the woman replied calmly. And because if I scare you too much, you'll destroy it. The sedan slowed, then stopped. Here's my offer, the woman said. Stay close to him. Let him think you're loyal. When the moment comes, when he miscalculates, you call this number. She placed a card between them. And if I don't? The woman opened the door. Then you find out how long a variable stays interesting. Maria stepped out into the night, pulse racing. The car pulled away instantly, swallowed by traffic. Her burner vibrated again. Asterisk did they make contact? Asterisk Moretti asked. She stared at the screen, thinking of the woman's eyes. The certainty. Asterisk yes, asterisk Maria typed. Asterisk she wants what you gave me dot asterisk. A pause. Asterisk everyone does, asterisk Moretti replied. Asterisk that's why you still have it dot asterisk. Asterisk you didn't tell me about her dot asterisk. Asterisk I was hoping you wouldn't meet dot asterisk. Maria exhaled slowly. Asterisk hope seems risky dot asterisk. Asterisk it is, asterisk he agreed. Asterisk which means things are moving faster than I planned. Asterisk. Her stomach tightened. Asterisk what happens now? Asterisk. Across the city, in a place she'd never been invited to see, Moretti read her message and made a decision that would cost someone their life. Asterisk now, asterisk he typed back. Asterisk we find out who blinks first. Asterisk. Maria looked down the street, at the endless flow of strangers, at how easily she could vanish into them. Instead, she started walking, toward a future that no longer waited to happen, but hunted. And somewhere behind her, unseen, someone adjusted their plans. Rain turned the city into a sheet of moving glass. It blurred the edges of everything: cars, buildings, intentions. Maria liked it that way. Rain made it harder to tell who was watching and who was just passing through. She sat on the edge of the motel bed, the burner phone resting in her palm like a live wire. 3 missed calls, all from numbers she didn't recognize. That alone told her enough. Moretti had gone quiet. That was worse than the calls. When the knock came, it wasn't loud. Just 2 soft taps. Polite. Almost respectful. Maria didn't reach for the door. She reached for the drawer instead, fingers brushing the cold edge of the object taped underneath. Her heart didn't race. It sank, heavy, deliberate, like her body already knew this moment had been coming. Another knock. Firmer this time. Maria, a man's voice said. Calm. Familiar in the wrong way. We should talk. She closed her eyes for half a second. When she opened the door, he was standing there alone.
No weapon visible.
No jacket despite the rain. Water ran down his hairline and onto the collar of his shirt, but he didn't seem to notice. Salvatore Moretti doesn't usually send messengers, she said. The man smiled thinly. He didn't. That was all the confirmation she needed. She stepped aside. The man entered without hesitation, eyes scanning the room with quick, professional movements. He noted the second exit, the bathroom window, the phone on the bed. He missed nothing, and that terrified her more than a gun would have. You've been busy, he said. Talking to people you shouldn't. Funny, Maria replied. That seems to be the theme lately. He turned to face her fully now. Late 40s. Scar along the jaw that had healed clean but never forgotten the blade. This was not muscle. This was memory. You're holding something that doesn't belong to you, he said. Maria crossed her arms. If it didn't belong to me, I wouldn't still be breathing. The man studied her for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. Soft. Almost fond. You really don't know what you stepped into, do you? I know enough, she said. I know your boss is bleeding leverage. I know his enemies are circling. And I know you wouldn't be here alone if killing me was the plan. The man's smile faded. Outside, thunder rolled, low and distant. You think Moretti will save you? He asked. Men like him don't save people. They postpone losses. Maria felt the words land, sharp and accurate. She didn't deny them. No, she said. I think he needs me. That need has an expiration date. So does loyalty, Maria replied. Yours. His. Everyone's. The man's phone vibrated. He glanced at it once. Just once. But it was enough. Something shifted in his posture, subtle, but real. Seems you're popular, he said. Maria didn't blink. Seems like you're running out of time. Silence stretched between them, thick as the rain outside. Finally, the man stepped back. Toward the door. Pack a bag, he said. You're not safe here anymore. Is that a warning? Maria asked. Or an order? He paused with his hand on the handle. It's mercy. Then he was gone. Maria locked the door and leaned against it, her legs suddenly unsteady. She slid down until she was sitting on the floor, breath coming shallow now that she was alone. Her phone buzzed. This time, it was Moretti. Asterisk you should be moving, asterisk he wrote. Asterisk they sent someone I didn't authorize. Asterisk. Her fingers hovered over the screen. Asterisk you're losing control, asterisk she typed. Several seconds passed. Too many. Asterisk no, asterisk his reply came. Asterisk I'm learning who never really answered to me. Asterisk. Her chest tightened. Asterisk and me. What am I to you now? Asterisk. The typing dots appeared. disappeared. Appeared again. Asterisk, you're the line they crossed, asterisk, Moretti finally wrote. Asterisk, which means the next move is mine. Asterisk. Across the city, Salvatore Moretti stood alone in a private room, jacket discarded, blood seeping slowly through a fresh bandage at his side. His face was calm, carved from years of choosing restraint over impulse. But his eyes were cold. They think I'm cornered, he said to the empty room. He reached for his phone again, issuing a single instruction that would unravel an entire alliance by morning. Maria, unaware of the exact shape of the storm she triggered, grabbed her bag and stepped back into the rain. She was no longer being chased. She was being fought over. And that meant the end was coming fast. The courthouse steps were dry, sunlit, and unforgiving. Maria stood at the bottom of them, hands folded, shoulders straight, feeling the weight of every choice that had dragged her here. Cameras clustered behind the barricades. Reporters murmured her name like it belonged to someone braver than she felt. Inside, the building smelled of polished wood and old paper. Nothing like the basement where this had started. Nothing like blood and mildew and a dying man who had looked at her and said, asterisk, don't call anyone. Asterisk. Salvatore Moretti sat at the defense table. No handcuffs, no suit jacket. Just a dark shirt open at the collar, the thin gold chain visible against his skin. He looked older than when she'd first seen him chained to concrete, but steadier too. Like a man who had finally decided which losses he was willing to take. When their eyes met, he gave her a single nod. Not a command. Not a plea. A thank you. The testimony took hours. Maria's voice shook at first. Then it didn't. She talked about the basement. About the wounds she cleaned with shaking hands. About the threats whispered into her ear that named her son's school, his classroom, the time he got out every day. The courtroom went silent at that. Moretti never looked at his brother as the evidence unfolded. Wire transfers, recordings, witness after witness confirming what Maria had risked everything to prove. The betrayal wasn't dramatic. It was methodical, corporate, ruthless in a way that didn't need guns to ruin lives. When the verdict came, it didn't feel like victory. It felt like release. Later, months later, the city barely noticed when one crime family quietly dissolved into indictments and plea deals. There were no headlines about Maria after the first wave passed.
No monuments.
No movies. But there were changes. A small non-profit opened in a rented office near the bus line. It helped women who cleaned houses, worked kitchens, survived quiet violence. Maria didn't call herself the founder. She called herself the first volunteer. Her son did his homework at the folding table while she answered phones. Sometimes Moretti stopped by, not as a boss, not as a savior. Just a man who now paid his debts by funding lawyers for people who'd never had one. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the office lights flickered on, her son looked up and asked, "Mom, were you scared back then?" Maria thought of the rain. The motel door. The man who offered mercy instead of death. "Yes," she said softly. "Why didn't you run?" She smiled, brushing his hair back. "Because some lines matter, even when your voice shakes." Across the room, Moretti watched, eyes unreadable. A man who once commanded fear now understood something quieter. Power wasn't control. It was choosing not to look away. If you made it this far, if you stayed with Maria through fear, doubt, and consequences, then you already understand why this story matters. So don't let it end here. Like the video. Leave a comment, tell us where you're watching from, or what moment stayed with you. And subscribe, because stories like this don't survive unless people choose to listen. Some lines only exist if someone is willing to stand on them. And you just did.